It is hard to believe, but I've had this channel for 3 years now. That's right, I just passed the 3-year anniversary. So, over the next few minutes, I will talk about where I've been and, more importantly, where we're going. I'll also spend a few minutes and tell you a little bit about myself. Now, before going too far, I want to thank all of you, my viewers, whether you're subscribed or not, for giving me the drive to create the videos for this channel. For those of you that don't know, it takes a lot of time and effort to script, shoot, and edit what you end up seeing. Most of my videos are in the 8 to 10 minute range, and it takes about 6 hours to produce each of those. Now, I have to try and fit that into a full-time work schedule and anything the XIL wants me to do around the house. Fortunately, retirement is only a couple of months off, but more on that in a minute. Now, I am constantly reminded of the great ham radio community, and I recently got the coolest QSL card I've ever seen. I want to thank Mike, AK6AR, for sending me this 3D printed QSL card. This thing is very cool. He actually printed all of the information and personally thanked me by name on it. I'm sure he has the basic design down and only has to change the pertinent information and print it, but I'm sure it still takes a fair amount of time compared to handwriting on a pre-printed card. So, thanks, Mike. And I will be sending you a card your way, but it won't be this cool. I hope you get to see this and understand my appreciation. So, where have we been? I started this channel in May of 2022 and posted my first video on the Buddy Stick Pro on the 6th of May. Now, since that day, I have published 86 more videos, which is just a little over 2 per month. In November of 2022, I published my most popular video titled Pass Your Ham Radio Exam on the First Time. And you may ask, if that was so popular, why don't I do more videos on that subject? Now, even though I care about bringing new hams into the hobby, there are others like Josh from Ham Radio Crash Course that cover the beginner topics very well, so I'm going to leave it to them. This allows me to focus more on where I really want to be, and more on that in a moment too. Now, it took me just over a year to get my first 1,000 subscribers, and surprisingly even harder, that required 4,000 watch hours to get monetized. Yes, I do make a little bit from YouTube ad revenue. Certainly not enough to live on, to be honest. It only helps defray the cost of running this channel. So I wouldn't say I'm making money, I'm just not losing as much. At the time of this recording, I'm at about 6,700 subscribers. Even though I haven't grown at a breakneck pace, I am very pleased considering the rate that I've been able to publish. The only reason I even care about the number is that it is motivating to see that this many hams care about what I have to say. Now, I've done a few videos on some of the POTA and SOTA activations, and these don't get nearly as many views. But there's a small following that seems to like them, and I enjoy doing them. I have tried to tailor the content of this channel around the areas of ham radio that appeal to me. If it was all about subscribers or trying to make a living at this, I would do videos on the very highly popular topics. But I never wanted this to be a job. So you'll see me consistently going back to portable QRP CW ops, because that's where my heart is. I've done a few videos on cheap Chinese HTs that have been sent to me, and even though these tend to be popular, I don't like doing them. And I've started turning down requests to review that kind of stuff. I don't want this to be an equipment review channel. Now, I will still do reviews, but only on things that are more directly related to my areas of interest. Now, before I dive into where I'm going, I think this is a good point to tell you a little bit about myself. I have been a ham since 1996. I've talked about this in some of my Coffee Talk videos, but I served 28 years active duty in the United States Coast Guard. I did my first 17 years as an enlisted electronics and later on avionics technician. My last 11 years as an IT officer. I retired from active duty in 2013, and I've been a government civilian for the Coast Guard for the last 12 years. And after 40 years of total service, I'm hanging it up and retiring for good. This will hopefully afford me more time to devote to the channel. although I hear from many retirees that they are busier now than when they were working. I'm hoping that some of that busyness is doing ham radio stuff, but time will tell on that. So that leaves me at where I want to go with this channel and what are some of my goals. I still want to keep a focus on portable QRP ops, but I also want to share knowledge that is useful to you. I love nothing more than to hear that my video helps someone. Now, I mentioned that I'm monetized and get a small sum from YouTube, but I'm sure this comes as no surprise that I'm no Mr. Beast, and to be honest, I don't want to be. I do this for the love of sharing with the ham radio community, not for the money. And even as I grow, I plan on putting everything I make back into the channel. Now, I would like to continue to grow my subscriber count, as that signals to me that I'm producing content that you, my viewers, want to watch. I want to start doing more on answering some of the more technical and challenging questions that you may have. Now, I'm not an electrical or an RF engineer, but I have a pretty solid electronics background. I'm also not afraid of doing the research and then trying to translate some of those complex and nerdy topics into the language that most hams can understand. And this is where you come in. I want you to feel free to reach out to me and ask questions. You can reach me in a couple different ways with your suggestions. First, you can get my email address by searching WV7W and QRZ. Secondly, you can go to the link in the description to submit a video suggestion. And finally, you can just put a comment in and I'll see what I can do. I do read all of my comments. Again, I want to thank you for continuing to watch my channel and give me a reason to keep doing it. I look forward to the road ahead and where it might lead me. Until next time, this is WV7W 73.